Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jessica Stalker. I am a real estate agent here in Beverly Hills and I talk all things metaverse. Today I'm going to explain why the metaverse is failing right now. Now, the metaverse in general will not fail. That concept is the next iteration of the internet and it will stand true just like the internet did. But I'm going to explain to you why the top metaverses right now, Sandbox, Decentraland, Solumnium Space, why their valuations are lower and why their tokens are lower and why it looks like some of them are plummeting, specifically Decentraland. I've been studying Decentraland for 3 years now, and when I first started studying it, the land in the metaverse Decentraland was around a couple $100s. I think I bought one at $400. So it was, the price to enter was reasonable, right? You pay $400 for this piece of land. Maybe you make $10, $20 a week. Maybe you make a couple hundred a month. Maybe you cover like the rent or whatever it is. Maybe you cover the price of what you got into it by. Now we have corporations that didn't want to miss out. So they knew that the metaverse was going to be popular, and the biggest metaverse right now is Decentraland. So they're like, we got to get in. They don't know what they're doing, but they just know they don't want to miss out. So what happens is when you have millions and millions and sometimes billions of dollars in your bank account to spend, you overpay for things sometimes on the fear of missing out, which is what a lot of big corporations did with Decentraland. They were so fearful of missing out that they spent millions of dollars on shopping centers, on art galleries, on gambling places, on concert arenas. Now, they have the right idea, right? Concert arenas, we have art galleries. These things are already super popular. Gambling and gaming is super popular, obviously, in the metaverses. However, there is a correct price to enter the market at, and they exceeded that price and way overpaid and way overvalued all of these metaverses. So it doesn't even make sense for anyone else to join, because you're paying $2 million for a plot of land that will not generate you that income in 5-10 years from now. Decentraland does not have that foot traffic. So they're overvaluing it based off the idea that the metaverse is going to be a big thing, but not understanding that maybe Decentraland won't be the metaverse that everyone comes to. After studying Decentraland for so long, I started to understand there's a lot of gamers in there and there's a lot of tech lovers, but we don't have the everyday person in Decentraland. I don't go in Decentraland every single day. I mean, I've gone in there to study it and to understand how the graphics work and if it lags and where the popular places people are. But me, myself, I don't spend time in there because it's not fun for me. And I wouldn't be like, hey, Susie, do you want to meet me in Decentraland and we'll like grab a coffee or we'll go to a concert? Because the graphics suck, the avatars don't look lifelike at all, and it caters toward the gamers, which is fine. But in order to capitalize on the true potential of the metaverse, which JP Morgan predicted that it's a $1 trillion business, in order to capitalize off the $1 trillion business and pay millions of dollars to get in there, you need to buy in a metaverse that caters to not only the gamers and the tech lovers, but the everyday person. And as far as now, I don't know of a metaverse that caters to the everyday person because we still haven't perfected the graphics or the avatars. We still don't even have any goggles that are seamless for an everyday person to use when they're maybe, leaving a meeting and they go into their car and they have 10 extra minutes. And, sometimes you FaceTime your friend when you're in your car. They don't have those headphones that you can just quickly put in your purse and be like, okay, I'm going to meet my friend real quick in the metaverse. So not only do they not have the right equipment, but we don't have the actual metaverse with the right graphics and the correct lifelike avatar. These things are missing right now. And in order for the metaverse to actually be a $1 trillion industry like JP Morgan is predicting it's going to be, these things need to be changed first. But the problem is corporations are coming into the top metaverses right now, valuing them as if those metaverses are a part of the $1 trillion industry, which they're not. You cap out at a certain point when you only cater to a certain amount of audiences. And Decentraland, in my opinion, I don't think it's capped out, but I think there is a certain cap with Decentraland. And I don't know if it will ever be justified to spend millions of dollars on land in the metaverse Decentraland. And I've said this from the beginning. I started helping people buy land in Decentraland when it was a couple $100s, maximum $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. But when it started to get to the floor price now is like $15,000 $15,000. When it started to get to that level where the minimum amount of money you need to get in is $15,000, that's not justifiable for me, and I don't advise people to get into that. So I am still very, very, very bullish on the concept of the metaverse. Do not get me wrong. But much like the Dotcom bubble, where there was all these different companies and corporations wanting to get in only because they have a fear of missing out, not because they're actually knowledgeable about what they're doing, that's when it becomes dangerous. When companies actually do their research, when they're knowledgeable about what they're putting forth, when they're knowledgeable about what they're investing into, and they're not just investing because they have this FOMO, fear of missing out, then you have something worth talking about. But when you have companies, like I said, that don't actually understand what they're investing into, but they're just putting money in, it gets scary because other people think, because, okay, Nike put money in here and Coca-Cola put money in here, that means I should put money in here because I don't want to be looked at as the person that's not innovative and doesn't understand the times are changing and doesn't understand blockchain and crypto and the metaverse. So they're wanting to get in just to get in. But it starts to become this spiral effect where when someone buys $1 million land, the other person thinks that it's actually valued at $1 million. So they start to do it, and then other people start to do it, and then other people start to do it, and then investors come in. And now these land are selling for millions of dollars and the token spikes when there's not even foot traffic in Decentraland that makes sense to buy a land for millions of dollars. So you have maybe a couple thousand people every day on average as far as foot traffic in Decentraland. So buying land for maybe a couple $1,000s would make sense. Maximum 50, 60,000, it makes sense. When you hit the levels that we're at now, it just starts to not make sense. So hot. So I'm going to post an article below that I just read talking about why the metaverse is tanking right now and why the top metaverse stocks are tanking. But my personal opinion, like I said, is because corporations are coming in investing when they don't have any idea on what they're investing into. In order to make it make sense for you to spend that amount of money buying land in the metaverse, there needs to be foot traffic. There needs to be buyers. It's kind of like if you were to go in the middle of nowhere and you buy a $15 million mall and you put a bunch of shops in there, as great as it is, as great as the mall is, it's in the middle of nowhere and you don't actually have the foot traffic. It's kind of like Decentraland. As great of an idea as it is, as you have gambling, you have art galleries, you have concert arenas, you don't have the foot traffic that makes sense to buy the land for millions of dollars. So until then, I think that you should understand we need to value this based off the amount of people that are actually purchasing. And of course, you can overvalue it a little bit because we're still early on and Decentraland could blow up, but overvalue it in the way that we have just doesn't make sense for anyone, and this is why it's tanking. Now, where do I see the future of the metaverse going from here, and am I still bullish in Decentraland? I think that I've been priced out of Decentraland. I wouldn't buy as far as the price goes now, and I know it's the top metaverse, but understanding that the graphics aren't there, the foot traffic isn't there, the audience isn't there, I have a hard time believing that Decentraland is ever going to capitalize and be the main metaverse. So with that being said, would I invest into Decentraland? No. Would I invest heavily in Sandbox? Probably not. I mean, Sandbox is more for gaming, but the metaverse that I think that you should be investing into, unfortunately, I don't think is here yet. I think that there's going to be a metaverse that comes out, whether it's Disney, whether it's Google, I don't know who it's going to be, but all I know is the metaverse that's going to be successful is going to have really good graphics, it's not going to lag, and it's going to be attached to a seamless goggle, glasses, whatever it is that allows you to enter into the metaverse. It's going to be seamless like this, where you can just put it in your bag and put it out like this. No one's carrying a bulky, Oculus in their purse right now. So once you have good graphics, it doesn't lag, a lifelike avatar, and a seamless virtual reality headset or goggles to go with it, then I think that is going to be something that I would invest into. But we haven't seen that yet. So I am staying up to date on all the new metaverses that are coming out, and I will keep you guys up to date as well. But I just wanted to let you guys know this is why some of the metaverse stocks are tanking. But I also want to say, don't be fearful. Investing obviously is always risky, and the higher the risk, the higher the reward. I could very well be wrong about Decentraland. I don't want anyone to be fearful of this news or the fact that these metaverses are tanking. The only reason they're tanking is because they were overvalued way too early. Do they still have some potential? Sure, they still have potential. Do they have the potential that they were valued at? Probably not yet. We're still way far out from that. So don't be fearful. Just understand when you're investing into something, anything metaverse, crypto related can be very risky because we don't know what direction direction we're heading in right now. But do not stop investing because you're fearful. Always remember, do your research, stay up to date, and understand that there needs to be actual foot traffic in the metaverse that you're investing into in order for anyone to make money. Because when the corporations make money, that makes your real estate go up. And if they're not making money, your real estate that you've bought or your NFTs in those metaverses obviously go down as well. And remember, the more you stay up to date, the more money you can make. That is always my motto. So I try to mitigate my risk by just staying up to date and understanding everything that's going on and trying to wrap my head around new metaverse projects, new NFT projects, and that will lower your risk when you just do your research. So with that being said, I hope you guys have an incredible day. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.